Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the 22nd of April, is a busy day for political parties in this country because this is the deadline that IBC had set for all political parties to have done their nominations and all the disputes mechanisms all exhausted by the aggrieved aspirants. I am in this video again to look at Nairobi politics. Polycarp Igathe has come from the blues after Richard Ngatia, Tim Wanyonyi, Governor Anne Kananu, and Agnes Kagure putting a spirited campaign in the CBD to clinch that seat. Yesterday, the president held a meeting in State House, and in that meeting, it was including all the aspirants were there, led by Igathe himself, Raila Odinga, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, and Martha Karua. So that meeting was to reach on a consensus among those aspirants, and they decided to settle, and the president decided to settle on Polycarp Igathe. I have seen one or two videos of a very posh corporate manager, Polycarp Igathe, trying to traverse the streets of Nairobi, introducing himself, holding a bottle of water, and he is really struggling. He looks like someone who has just been smoked from his comfort zone and to be handed that seat. So Igathe is the one now to face off with Johnson Sakaja. As when I was doing this video, I had not confirmed whether Tim Wanyonyi had accepted to step down, or rather the other, and also Richard Ngatia and the other aspirants. So this Friday is going to be very interesting for Jubilee Party. When he was being interviewed, Polycarp Igathe was alluding to a voting constituency that don't vote. He was actually saying that he will defeat Sakaja in the morning as 8 a.m., 9 a.m., because the educated fellows who support him, they go to work very early in the morning, so they will wake up very early to vote for him. Igathe is getting it wrong. That constituency, on the voting day, that is their holiday. They don't turn up to vote. Nairobi's NAV voting block is in the slums, then a bit of the middle class. So in this video, I've tried to look at the Igathe's presence or the Nairobi BILLIONARES in the prefix of Azimio la Umoja. Kenya Kwanza already sorted; they already have Johnson Sakaja. But in Azimio la Umoja, this Nairobi seat, the Nairobi county has 2.5 million voters. And the governor's vote basket is also related to the presidential basket. And I think to many other supporters of Azimio, what is the first goal is Raila to become the 5th president. Anything else is secondary. Now, I want us to ask ourselves some 6 questions on Igathe's candidature. People have talked about the timing, but I don't think the timing is an issue. If all these candidates can rally behind him and push his candidature, then he can give Sakaja a run for his money. And I have a punchline here. And before I give you my punchline, I just want you to just trigger your mind a bit. Do you think because Johnson Sakaja is the owner of TNA party, that is the Jubilee party that the president is heading? He was the first chairman of the Jubilee party in 2013. Do you want to believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Sakaja are enemies? What is their relationship? During Mike Sonko's impeachment motion, Sakaja abstained from the voting in the Senate. And Sakaja was a senator through Jubilee twice. In his campaigns or rallies, I have not seen Sakaja coming out publicly to discredit President Uhuru Kenyatta's track record as the president. But just put that there. Let's ask ourselves the first question. Will Sakaja's candidature hurt Raila's basket? This is my position. And I want to refer to 2017. The votes, of course, Raila got more votes than Uhuru, but Mike Sonko got more than Raila, who was on the presidential ballot. So Mike Sonko took a majority of people to the polling station. There is something that people need to take, that he had that euphoria. Now, on the Igathe side, Igathe is going to affect Raila's basket this way. If Timothy, and I hope it's Timothy Wanyonyi, do not support his candidature. And not even Timothy Wanyonyi, all the other candidates, like even the Igathe, they've already established their traditional fan base. And what would really happen is that Igathe might be discredited because he will be perceived as someone that has come from the moon. And again, he cannot take people to the polling station. He doesn't have that euphoria. If for Raila's vote basket not to be affected, I think ODM party should abstain from the governor's seat. And I saw Wanyonyi saying that he cannot deputize Igathe. That would be, if Wanyonyi decides to deputize Igathe, I am telling you that the supporters of Wanyonyi will not even accept it. So to that, ODM is going to find it very difficult. Because Igathe is being perceived as someone who is being pushed. Number two, the reason why Igathe has been brought and not even been brought is the Nairobi Azimio matrix, which I totally agree. The Kikuyu Nation wants Nairobi County governor. Very understandable. And it is being, the rationale is that it might be used, and that is why Martha Karua was also in that table. It might be used to convince the gamer to support Raila. I want to ask a question. So the Nairobi voting, there is a Kikuyu voting bloc in Nairobi. They will be convinced that, of course, we've been given the governor. Will it be enough to convince someone living in Murang'a or someone living in Nyeri or Meru or Laikipia to vote for Raila because Gema has been given a governor candidate in Nairobi? That's a very pertinent question, and I feel that reasoning does not work well, because yes, it will be given to them, but saying that it is convincing Raila, it is convincing for them to vote Raila, it will only be the Kikuyu voting bloc in Nairobi, which, sorry to say, majority of them have already decided where they are going to vote. Third question: why, if the seat was to go to Jubilee, which is the box that could not be ticked for Ngatia? Or why was Ngatia kicked out? That's a pertinent question that will be asked by the voting bloc that Igathe was referring to, the middle class. The middle class will always scrutinize and ask, so if they wanted to be Jubilee, Ngatia is a Jubilee member. If they wanted Gikuyu, Igathe is a Kikuyu member. So which box did he? There is a question of tarnished. No one is clear. I don't even think that can be the point. So, and this is where my punchline is, ladies and gentlemen, from where I'm seated, something I honestly think is going on here is the president is fronting a weak candidate to hand over victory to Sakaja. And the President Uhuru Kenyatta might be working with Sakaja. When I did my first analysis, I mentioned here that I feel the candidature of Igathe has some powerful, deep forces that are even behind the president. And I said that the Mount Kenya billionaires might be planning to secure their interest in Nairobi or around in Nairobi. They have actually mentioned to the president and Raila that we are going to inject funds in the national campaigns, or we are going to support Raila Odinga, but give us Nairobi. So he might be their candidate. And the president, in his own wisdom, has decided, both Raila and the president has decided, that I know your candidate can lose, but we're giving you a candidate so that Sakaja can win. And one thing I know is that Sakaja is a close buddy to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And so, the candidature of Igathe is a losing one. That one for sure. Because I want us to ask the next question. Who is going to campaign for Igathe in Nairobi? Who? The president makes his campaigns just an appearance when he's launching a project and is done. And the president, when he goes to campaign for Igathe, I'm asking that question because if there is a voting constituency that is blaming the government about the fuel shortage, about the price of food, about maybe even this poor road network in the slums and their high standard of living, that voting bloc is in Nairobi. If the president will make a mistake to go and endorse Igathe somewhere in a rally, and Sakaja comes the next day, or let me say that in Igathe's poster, Igathe and the President Uhuru Kenyatta, Igathe is going to carry the burden of the government because Nairobi is the headquarters. And because of that, Igathe is likely to lose. The only person that can campaign for Igathe is Raila. But this is the point. The people that Raila is supposed to convince is the voting bloc, his own voting bloc, and Raila can get his vote. He doesn't, also that point will only depend on whether Raila is also comfortable with the other side. Lastly, when we are talking about Igathe, and that meeting was, the state-owned meeting was talking of Igathe and a running mate from Kalonzo's side, Northeastern, and I support that. ODM should abstain from the Nairobi governor seat so that it does not affect Raila's basket. Raila is not held accountable. Now, who is Sakaja's deputy? They've made all that calculation that Igathe is from Kikuyu and so he's going to get another one from Kamba. If Sakaja also, because there is this likelihood, Sakaja is a Luhya, and in Kenya Kwanza, Ruto's matrix is Luhya, Kalenjin, Kikuyu. Then Sakaja also goes for the Kikuyu running mate. There is also another constituency that will say, okay, fine, we are not going away. Even in Kenya Kwanza, we have a deputy. So let's go for the deputy. Because the question of Sakaja, and Sakaja is just seated somewhere, and that is why I'm saying that the president knows very well. The president might even give Sakaja the deputy. He might even know the person Sakaja is going to pick as the deputy. We know that Kenya Kwanza, Ruto is managing, but that is something that cannot be underrated. If you ask all these questions, you will find out that the truth of the matter here, for Polycarp Igathe to win the Nairobi seat, it will need deep packaging so that he can transition from the suits in the corporate world to the murky political terrain. Especially, he is starting from Nairobi. This is a place where Kidero only did one, and Kidero really struggled and went. So let's wait and see how this will turn out. But my punchline in this is that the president is working to hand over Nairobi to Johnson Sakaja. What do you think? I want to read your comment. Tell us what you think, and kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also more importantly, I want to humbly request you to give us a feedback. Now, if you're staying within Nairobi, Lavington, Runda, anywhere, and you experience blackouts, check out this poster here. They are Installite. They offer power backup systems at affordable rate, and kindly you can reach out to them and find something that can be customized for you. The ratings, the packages from 125,000 all the way to 500,000, 195,000 that are on the poster, and with that you can get their contact them at 0722 818 883 or 722 818 883, and please make it sure that this is from Kevin Oduor. Let's meet in the next.